with you a few ways to boost your retirement income. And please be advised that this information being presented today should, under no circumstances, take the place of your financial advisor. And if you have any questions or notes that you jot down, things that you want to know more of, just let Pastor know and Lady Esther, and they will pass it on, and we'll see what we can do to assist you. So let's begin. So retirement fund, increase income, 10 different ways for retirement. And I know whenever we think about retirement, we think about older people. And I hope some of the young people are online today so I could share some information so they could be ahead of the game. If you think of the expression fixed income, you probably think of retirees. In the end, people in retirement are usually relying upon Social Security benefits, which can be best set by specific formulas, and on required minimum distributions for retirement accounts. But there is a lot more flexibility to retirement earnings than you may think. Here are 10 ways that you can increase your income at retirement, with a few requiring action today and some for later. First slide. Okay, so you would like to raise your savings and investing now. You don't want to wait until later. You power up your saving and investing, and the difference it could make will surprise you. Imagine, for example, that you believe you're doing pretty well by saving, say, like $1,000 a month for retirement. But if you could put away $1,200 or say $1,500 instead, that would make a big difference. Look at the amount, $1,400 or $18,000 compared instead of the $12,000 you would have done if you just put in $1,000 every month. If you check the table right up here, it shows that if for just one decade, right, for retirement, fostering your savings from $1,000 per month to $1,500 a month might net you near $94,000 more by retirement. So all these numbers sound big, and some people may say, well, you know, I cannot afford this, or I may not have this. But any little bit that you can start doing now or earlier and growing your savings by that much can seem tall order. You might have to strategize or plan about how to achieve it. You know, skipping a little fancy coffee drink here and there, putting away a little savings, you know, and, you know, before you know it, you build up on all of this for your future. You may try cutting down on the cable, you know, stream videos instead. And for example, if you save $50 from your cable, by the end of the year, you have saved $600, which you could take to put aside. If you're paying $50 a month for gym membership, you know, you don't have to utilize it. If you're not utilizing it, you could cancel it and save another $600 annually. You could make a few phone calls to your auto and home insurance companies, and they may find, much better deals for you. Instead of just sitting down, you know, every little bit helps. If you have bad habits, you know, like things that cost you money, consider quitting and putting that money towards your retirement. It's not an easy process, but it can be done. You know, probably, you know, it will save you thousands of dollars annually. And another way you could put money away is contributing to a Roth IRA or 401k. It's an excellent way to save. And if you want to know more about the Roth IRA or the 401k, let Pastor know, and we will talk more about it. So slide number 2. You know, you could work a few more decades. Working a little longer than you might ideally wish to is another effective strategy. It not only assists your retirement account grow invisibly, but in addition, it means there'll be fewer years that your nest egg has to support you. You might enjoy employer-sponsored medical insurance for a few additional years too. So that also puts money in your pocket. So because you don't have to pay your own medical bills. So the chart demonstrates what would happen if you plan to retire in 10 years. The table suggests how much you could amass between now and then. And in addition, it shows what you could have after 12 years and 15 years. If you can put away $1,000 a month for 1 decade, it may rise to over $187,000. However, in the event that you can hang in there for another 2 decades, you're looking at over $1 million, a gap of $60,000. So number three. So I hope you guys are jotting down little notes about what I'm presenting here, because it's very important and it would help you a great deal. Some of you may have already implemented some of what I'm suggesting, but there are some things that may be for you and maybe something that you may want to share with someone else. Okay, so the third one is work somewhat in retirement. That's another strategy, right? So working if you're working only 12 hours per week at $10 per hour generates roughly about $500 a month in extra income. If you can work a couple more hours, or you may earn a higher commission, you are going to collect even more. You could try a part-time job, and that will also give you some more time. Your time's more structured and routine opportunities to interact with other people. Because I hear a lot of people say after retirement they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do themselves. But having a little part-time job, you get to interact and hang out with like-minded people, and things that many people find, they actually miss. You miss the camaraderie, the interacting with other people. Number 4, consider dividend-paying stocks. You can generate income by selling shares of stock from stock portfolio over time. But using dividend-paying stock, you can collect income without having to sell any shares. Say you have like a $400,000 portfolio, as an instance. That sports an overall average yield of 3%. It will create about $12,000 per year, a strong $1,000 monthly. Dividend income is not guaranteed, but if you spread your money across a bunch of healthy and growing businesses, you're likely to receive normal payments. Better still, companies tend to raise their dividend payment punctually, and that can help your earnings maintain inflation. A dividend-focused exchange-traded fund like an ETF can be quite nice, a nice choice. Also, preferred stock is another way to go. So there's you could go to a site called the iShare US Preferred Stock, and you could check out, what's going on there. And they recently afforded like a 5.6% for stocks. The 5th one, contemplate annuities for pension-like income. You may not have a retirement fund or pension, but an annuity or two can offer dependable pension-like income. It is true that a few annuities, such as variable annuities, index annuities, may be rather problematic, frequently charging steep fees and supporting restrictive terms. There are much simpler tools that may start paying you immediately or on a deferred basis. On the chart here, look at some examples. The sort of income that varies. Various people might be able to secure through a direct fixed annuity in the present financial environment. You will typically be provided higher payments if interest rates are higher. A deferred annuity could also be useful. It begins to cover you in the future. Say, a 60-year-old man, if you check the chart, for example, could pay $100,000 for a mortgage, which will start paying him over $1,000 per month for the remainder of his life, starting at age 70. Deferred annuity are a good method to avoid running out of money late in life. Because there are times, you have sickness come in, and the little nest egg you have, it dwindles away very quickly when you're not working. So the next slide is just, I'm showing you a different type of annuities. It's a short briefing. Just the chart shows all the different types. Annuity is a financial product that pays out a fixed stream of payments to an individual. And these financial products are primarily used as income stream for retirees. Annuities are contracts issued and distributed or sold by financial institutions, which invest funds from individuals. They help individuals address risk of outliving their savings. Upon administration, the holding institution will issue a stream of payments at later points in time. Annuity plans can form a good part of your retirement portfolio. If the product fit is right and you work hard to build a retirement fund, the only task left for living a comfortable life after retirement is to get regular income out of this. A safe way of doing this is to buy annuity plans, which invest your money in markets and pay you regularly from a returns generator. Isn't that awesome? Many life insurance companies offer these plans, so you could check them out. Investors in the National Pension System and super annuitization funds have a mandatory, you could go to them, it's mandatory to buy. You could buy annuities from them. Annuity plans come in different forms, and you could just check them out and see what works best for you. If you want to know more, this can be addressed at a later time. So let's go to the next slide. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you guys have been online, all afternoon, and I want to get through this very quickly for you. So you could, as I say, make notes, and if you have something in particular you want us to address later, feel free to let us know, okay? So the sixth one is produce income from interest-paying instruments. Okay. So this retirement income strategy of collecting earnings from interest-paying investment isn't very popular within a low interest rate environment, but rates seem to be on the upswing, right? It seems to be on the upswing, but things are happening now, so God knows. But so it can be well worth contemplating today for the coming year. At this time, if you park, say, $100,000 in certificates of deposit, spending 3% in interest, you'll collect $3,000 annually. Barely a very helpful sum, but back in 1984, though prices for 5-year, 1-year, and 6-month CDs have been in the triple digits, if you were able to earn 10% on a $100,000 investment, you'd enjoy $10,000 annually, equal to about $830 a month. Inflation has dropped about 3% over several decades. This could be a solid increase in income. Bonds are attractive, interest-paying alternatives. But the safest ones are in the U.S. government, and they tend to pay modest rates of interest, especially in low interest rate surroundings. Nonetheless, in case you've got a lot of cash, You might make this strategy work by buying an assortment of bonds which will mature at various times, generating earnings and increasing income over several decades. So if you live if you're eating healthy and living longer, 95, 100, some people live to 103, very rare, but it happens, and you will have income coming in. Next slide. So number 7 is about reverse mortgage, right? So I'm asking, is a reverse mortgage right for you? So for the last few years, we've been hearing so much about reverse mortgage. And it's been around for a while, but it's now more forefront. So for the past few years, this whole thing have just come full center, but it started way back in 1961. I believe it was this ball player who his coach, I think, passed away, and the wife was in the home, and they wanted her to be, she wanted to stay in her home, so they decided to look into a reverse mortgage. This is how it all started, and then throughout the years they made addendums and changes and add, remove, until they came out with something that was more palatable for the masses. So in a reverse mortgage, what happens is you basically get a loan from a creditor, often in the form of a monthly tax-free payment throughout your retirement. Today, with your home as the security. Your home is the security for this loan that you're getting, right? So the loan does not have to be paid back until you do not reside in your home. That can seem great, but note that reverse mortgages do have a few downsides, like requiring your heirs to sell your house unless they can afford to pay back the loan. As you die, like if your home was worth $400,000 and you took a $350,000 loan to live in the house during your retirement, you pass away, the bank can come and say, hey, we want our money now. And your heirs have to be able to pay it. So what you would want to do is, if you don't have anyone depending on you, right? You have nobody who's waiting to inherit from you. This can be a good retirement income strategy. It is important to learn far more about reverse mortgages prior to getting one. It may be another way of increasing your income. It only works, I believe, only if you have no one else depending on you and it's just you or you and your, nobody else here, you, and then you get your money. When you pass away, they take the house and then that's it. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we're looking to find money, as best as we can. So number 8 suggests you move or relocate to a less expensive area, right? So relocating is also a strategy worth considering. You could just downsize and move to a smaller house, or you can move to a region with lower taxation or even a lower cost of living. In any event, you may wind up spending less taxes, insurance, home maintenance, utilities, landscaping, etc. The median house value, say in California, by way of example, was recently about $409,000, right? But it was just $229,000 in Utah and about $157,000 in North Carolina. All this may not increase your income, but it will lower your expenses. So the next slide. Slide number 9. So here's a strategy that does not happen to many people. If you've got a life insurance policy which nobody's depending on, such as if the children you meant to shield with it are now grown and are not dependent on yours, you might consider borrowing against it. This may work if you've purchased permanent insurance, like whole life and universal life, rather than term life insurance that normally only lasts as long as you're paying for it. You'll be reducing or wiping out the worth of the policy by means of your withdrawals. However, when no one really needs the ultimate payoff, it can make sense. Plus, the earnings is typically tax-free. This is another way of increasing, to increase your income. And then finally, 10. You want to make the most of your Social Security. Ultimately, know that the advantages you will eventually accumulate are not set in stone. There are ways that you could boost your Social Security benefits by way of instance, for each and every year past your full retirement age, which you delay beginning to collect benefits, they will grow by about 8%. Delay from age 67 to 70, and you'll increase your benefits by 24%. It is not quite as strong as it appears, though, because while your test will be bigger and you'll be amassing much fewer of these, read up on spousal strategies too, because according, to when you and your other half begin collecting, can help both of you. Do not assume your retirement income will be fixed. Taking some actions today and applying some strategies can provide you much more cash to live from and for your golden years. Okay, so we have some takeaways here. So you're boosting your Social Security benefits, your key takeaways. So first, you want to delay using until age 70, and you'll get your maximum amount. Then you want to wait even longer, and you might qualify for delayed retirement credit. If you work while getting benefits, be sure don't run to the earned income credit limits, because when you're retired and you're working, there is a limit that they tell you could work for. Like, for example, they'll say, okay, you could only make $500 a week or $1,000 a month. So you need to check that with with the state and find out what works for you, what's best. So let's continue here. So you want to work for 3 decades, say 35 years. You can be eligible for Social Security benefits after working less than a decade, and you can start receiving gains as early as age 62 or as late as age 70. Your benefit amount is based on the average of your 35 highest earning years. So I know some people who, while they have their regular job, like in the last few years before they retire, they will take on a part-time job. So since the Social Security department usually take the highest income, so they use that so they could get more money monthly. As your advantage is based on your highest earning decades, the more you earn, the greater your advantage. There are limitations, however, as I mentioned earlier. The maximum benefits for 2020 are $2,265 for those retiring at age 62, $3,000 for those retiring in the full retirement at age 66, and $3,790 for those retiring at age 70. There's a big difference here. You see the numbers, the amount that you get. As you can see, the highest levels previously, you can retire as young as 62 and collect Social Security, but your benefits will be reduced by 25% to 30%. For everyone born after 1942, the full retirement age is 66, with just 2 weeks additional for each year after 1954. For those born in 1960 and after, it is age 67. So it is wise to wait until the full retirement age to start collecting in order to get the maximum amount you're eligible to receive. Even better, wait even longer, and you could be qualified for delayed retirement credits that increase your monthly payments. Okay, so as an advantage, it's based on your higher earnings decades, right? The more you earn, the greater your advantage. And as I mentioned before, you have your limits, and you need to check on that, and you see, what's best for you. Some people just want to stop working, and they don't care if they get less money. And if you're one of those people, and then you have some other strategies in place, that's fine. You could go ahead and do that. But know what's available and know what you can do for yourself, and you take it from there. Okay, so for married people, you subscribe for your married benefits. If you're married and have little earned cash, you may qualify for special spousal your special spousal benefits for up to 50% of your partner's eligible amounts. If you're at least 62 years old and have a child in your care, you may qualify for benefits for your spouse. And you check all of these things, and you see, as I say, you check them out and you see what works, what's best for you. And if you're helping your parents or an elderly person, a friend or neighbor, another family member, these are all things that could be put into place. And if you want to know more about certain particular topics or a particular of any of the entries that were placed in the list, let us know, and we'll see what we can do to clarify more information and to provide you with something better for your life. So that's it. I think we've covered everything. So Pastor, you could take over.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Come on, everybody, just say thank you, Lord, for Sister Miriam.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you very much. God bless.